Hi, I'm Joey, and these are 10 unhinged opinions about Modern Horizons 3. No time to waste. Opinion number 1, you should like and subscribe. I mean, you clicked on this video after all. What do 1 or 2 more clicks cost you? Okay, that was a joke, but for real, let's get into it. Number 1, it's a little bit silly for the community to continually call sets like Modern Horizons sets a Commander Horizons set, because in case you haven't noticed, every set is a Commander Horizons set. Number 2, Modern Horizons 3 having Commander legal precons with cards that are not legal in Modern is objectively hilarious. You know how everyone thought that the name Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate was misleading marketing? I think it's been one-upped by this Modern labeled product that is not legal in Modern. My thoughts are best summed up by this post about MH3 Commander decks being a straight-to legacy set. Iconic. Number 3, Nadu. I am with Rachel Weeks. Boo this man. In particular, what I'm a little bit whoa about is the move from only once each turn to only twice each turn. And this right here is my plea to Wizards of the Coast to please not make this the new panharmonification of everything. When doubling stuff wasn't exciting enough, triple became the new double. But we don't need that. We just don't need that. The most dangerous thing about the Nadu card isn't whether or not it's busted. The most dangerous thing about this card is whether it is setting a new precedent for card design going forward. And I just pray that it doesn't. Number 4, Ulalek Fused Atrocity is apparently supposed to be a mix of Ulamog and Kozilek. I'm just genuinely disappointed that this awesome concept for a cool story moment where 2 enormous, otherworldly godlike titans fuse together into a single being is done as a 5-mana 2/5 at the lead of a commander deck, when it could have been a huge meld card in the main set. It would have been awesome. But instead we get a 2/5. Like seriously, why is the fusion of 2 spookified angels from Innistrad more powerful than the combination of 2 beings that are literally famous for being capable of eating and remaking entire planes of existence? Not to get too worked up about it or anything. Anyway, number 5, speaking of Eldrazi, Annihilator is back. Putting Annihilator not just in a commander precon, but like right there in the command zone is weird, y'all. Like even if it turns out to not be all that powerful in EDH in the long run, it just kind of has that infect problem where players will perceive it to be scary or frankly just kind of annoying right from the get-go. So this design just feels to me like it's kind of misunderstanding the players that it's catering to. Now, of course, on the subject of things being catered to commander players, this wouldn't actually be a problem if Modern Horizons wasn't catering to commander players. EDH players often remark upon how much they liked the days when the EDH format just had to fend for itself, when it just had to deal with whatever it was given, rather than having so many things that are constantly designed explicitly for us. And we're especially vocal about how we don't like it when designs for EDH come at the expense of the health of other formats. No, but like seriously, 60-card players who blame EDH players for all of the design problems that have been happening in constructed formats over the past couple of years, we think it's annoying too. We are with you on this. But anyway, to summarize it, it's basically a little bit weird for a set to cater directly to EDH players while simultaneously doing things that they know EDH players don't like. If a set just did those disliked things without trying to cater to EDH players, we'd actually be pretty happy about it. Or like at the very least, we would just accept the reality that not everything is nor should be about us. But things like Annihilator in a command zone just feel like a big bright signal of a company that's very clearly trying to have its cake and eat it too. Number 6, tokens. We now have Ophiomancer tokens printed en masse. Yeah! No, but for real, previously I think the only place to get tokens like these was just in Commander Collection Black, which, are they ever going to return to that product idea? Who knows? Probably not. But anyway, yeah, these were very limited before, and now they're not. Historymancer players everywhere rejoice! Although real quick, speaking of tokens, I'm not sure that I'm a fan of cards that make tokens without explaining what those tokens do. Maybe that's just a me thing though. I don't know. Number 7, the Jeskai Energy Precon. At first I thought it was a little bit weird that they did another Jeskai Energy deck right on the heels of the Fallout one that they did just a couple of months ago. But you know, the more I think on it, the more I'm actually really glad that energy decks get to be more fleshed out with in-universe options, and it's neat that both of these different precons are actually using energy in very different ways. That said, this energy precon kind of just feels to me like it's all over the place. For instance, it contains a couple of infinite combos right there in the precon, but then it also contains a bunch of non-bows, such as cards with attack triggers, which explicitly do not synergize with the face commander. I don't know, to be honest, it's just kind of giving me that vibe of some of like the really old precons that are split down the middle, like one half of the deck works with Commander A, but then the other half of the deck works with Commander B. I just get the vibe that this one isn't necessarily set up to succeed, but I really hope it manages to. Number 8, we're getting new modal double-face land cards, including multicolored ones. And honestly, these multicolored ones, I like them. These are neat. They are simple, they're cool, they're fun. But on the flip side, there are also the monocolored ones, the uncommon ones that have that pay 3 life to potentially enter untapped clause. And honestly, these are going to confuse me for a while. And that's while with the H. At least last time when we got flip lands that either just enter tapped or they come in untapped if you pay 3 life, we could tell what the difference was between them because of their rarity. But now there's a mix of those options just at the uncommon rarity. So the group of MDFC uncommon spell lands are going to be just one more thing amidst a sea of cards that are personally for me getting progressively more and more difficult to remember what the back half does, which feels weird when the back half of a card is literally just a land. Number 9, the Omo Precon. Honestly, Omo is such interesting design. However, there is something about that ability that I just find tragically hilarious. Like, flying counters give flying, trample counters give trample, and vigilance counters give vigilance, and everything counters do nothing. Omo needs to be in play for an everything counter to have any function, which is good for balancing the card's power level, but it's just kind of a funny name because an everything counter doesn't actually do anything on its own, and I think it might end up misleading players who have been trained by keyword counters to expect that counters with certain important names are themselves the things that grant abilities. Also, total side note, I'm just kind of curious how far they can actually take keyword counters. I mean, we've seen them do weirder keywords like shadow counters giving shadow, so we know that they're not just going to stick to evergreen keywords with those counters, but there is also now a keyword called training, and yet cards like Sensei Goldentail have already been giving out training counters, which of course don't give the creature the training ability, so certain keywords actually can't have counters. So where does that line get drawn? I don't know, I just think it's kind of funny, but most of all I think that the names of counters carry a lot of weight. Anyway, none of that actually matters, and my true final thoughts about this lands deck is that, come on, you gotta stop putting Arcane Signet into lands precons, Wizards. This deck has a bunch of landfall payoff cards. A 2-mana ramp spell that gets an actual land into play would be so much more valuable here. The deck has only 2 colors. The color fixing is already easy pants. Come on, WotC. If you have the nerves of steel to omit Sol Ring from one of the 5 color precons from years ago, then you have the gumption to omit Arcane Signet from this deck that cares so much about lands. We can play more thematic things than a generic mana rock that'll get reprinted in each of the 24 other precons that come out this year. And number 10, no matter any of these weird, frankly inconsequential gripes, we all know that Modern Horizons 3 is poised to be one of the best-selling banger sets of all time. And some of these card designs are sick. Like, have you seen this thing? What is this card? But anyway, yeah, from its appeals to nostalgia to the markets that it's targeting to the increasingly breakneck release pace that it's operating under, Modern Horizons 3 is kind of the epitome of many of the qualities that are currently making Magic the Gathering as a game so successful right now, for better and for worse. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Bye!